We have a presentation from the speaker called Shri Sayak, who is the Special Superintendent of Police from Cyber and Economic Offence. And we'll have the presentation of RailTel post-lunch, and sir has to leave, so on such a short notice we got to know. And sir, please, if you can join the stage, can we have a round of applause for Shri Sayak, the Special Superintendent of Police, Cyber and Economic Offence Wing, CID, West Bengal. Sir, you have 10 minutes for the presentation. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon to all. It is very foolish to stay between lunch hour and my presentation, but I will try to finish it off within 10 minutes. I am currently looking after the cyber division of CID West Bengal. CID is the state nodal for West Bengal regarding all the important crimes that's happening, cyber being one of the wing of it. So before going into the presentation, I will tell cyber crime is like a pandemic for which we are not seeing any peak in the near future. Every year, we are getting a higher peak than the preceding year. So it is really a concern for all the police agencies throughout the country and in fact the world. Next. They say that internet is the fourth wave of industrial revolution that is starting, say, the turn of this millennium. And if we see the data, currently, say 2 years back, around 63% of world population have already been connected, and this COVID wave has already forced many more to join this cyberspace. India, though the internet penetration stands below 50%, but considering the volume of 66 crore of internet user, we are the second largest market. And while this gives us a big opportunity to leverage the digital technologies, like we have seen the CoWIN portal that has helped us in many ways to fight the COVID pandemic, but it also leaves us vulnerable in many ways because we are not that tech savvy, and there is a huge number of not so literate persons who have already been connected digitally through various means. Now I'll talk about how we as police officers see the cyber space, cyber crime. Investigation of cyber crime is a bit different than a conventional crime because of all the reasons I have noted and many more like that. The accused, other than a conventional crime, can really commit the crime in being anonymous. And the scene of crime, which is very much evident in a traditional crime, say bank robbery, but for a cyber crime, many a times it is in fact difficult to identify and preserve that scene of crime, which is very crucial for any investigation. Thirdly, jurisdiction. It is a borderless crime, like intercontinental crime, that international call center related crime. The accused is sitting in one part of the world and he is committing fraud in other part of the world, and there is, I mean, say it is an intercontinental dimensional crime. And thirdly, next is swiftness of the crime. The crime can be done at a flash, and there is no time slot. Like bank robbery, if it's done in we can have that working hours, and we have to be more cautious during that banking working hours that when the bank robbers can hit. But for a cyber-related crime, he has access 24/7. He can anytime hack and he can swindle money at his will. But these points are not to discourage. While there are many points of divergence between cybercrime and traditional crime, but we have to understand that it is a human psychology, and that's interplay with human behavior and digital space we have to understand so that we can curb this practice. I would call this a dark entrepreneurship. It may be very unfortunate, but I would guess in their dark wave, they must have their own Forbes 500 list who are all doing very good in cyber crime and making tons of money. One data shows, if we go by economy size, then UN have a new member, third largest economy, that is cyber crime. Maybe a very unwanted member, but Cyber Security Ventures, a very reputed firm in this field, their prediction is the 15% annual growth rate in this sector as of now. So in 2025, we'll expect cybercrime industry to grow up to over $10 trillion. Just imagine the size. It is very, very conveniently and confidently we can say the greatest transfer of economic wealth in the history of mankind till date. And we have all those fancy web series, Escobar and other drug mafias. Their combined wealth will not be anything near what cyber criminals are making and going to make in near future. And why it is so? It is becoming easier. When we catch some cyber criminals, we don't find them to be very tech savvy. The knowledge quotient is getting lower with the advancement of technology. It is an image by Carnegie Mellon University's research. You can see the timeline from 1990 when required knowledge was pretty high and tool skills that was available that was pretty low. But with the progress of technology, now the cyber criminals are having a very good time. We have seen 10th pass or say even not below graduate criminals are swindling money from very educated, very experienced people because they have that access to technology. Coming back to the state of West Bengal, in India it is an issue that all the cyber crimes are not getting converted into FIR. So if we go by the FIR figure, that would not justify. So I have taken, there is a portal that has been launched called National Cybercrime Reporting Portal. So any citizen in India can lodge online if they are victim of any cyber fraud or any cyber crime, and that directly comes to the system, to the concerned state. In the state of West Bengal, that portal has been launched in India in the last end of 19. So I am skipping the data of 2019. And if we compare the data of 2020, 21 and 22, you can see there is a 6 times rise of cyber complaints. So that is really a worry when actually not many people are not aware of this portal and they are not accessing in spite of being victim of cyber crime. So when everybody gets aware and started using that, I think the actual figure will come out and that will be pretty higher than that. Not only in Bengal, if we go to the Silicon Hub of India, Bangalore, last year, just in 2022, Bangalore has lost 267 crore. We can say like 80 to 90 lakhs every day. Being the tech-savvy population and those highly connected people, but still cyber criminals are having their run. International Monetary Fund, in their report, they have said that cybercrime industry has matured. It is now not a single person wearing a hoodies and doing something in his laptop and doing some mischievous things. It is not a very lone wolf kind of thing. It has become a very organized industry. We have to understand that. And why one person commits crime, especially economic crime? He has to take a risk, but he takes that risk because the return is much more higher. Unfortunately, for the police and the good citizens, for cyber criminals, the risk is actually much lower. He need not to go visit the bank to loot that bank, or he need not to go some burglary, commit burglary. So getting caught is very less chance of getting caught. And even if he gets caught, getting successfully prosecuted is even lower. And hardly any bloodshed he need to avoid. So it is really an worrying thing. This quotation actually, like, cyberspace is very evolving kind of thing. Like IPC, it is an 1861 act. Still we are doing with it with minor amendments. But IT Act, it's like coming 2000 and it has been overhauled in 2008. But still in 2023 we are finding it is not very doing justice, and we have to again have a relook at our IT Act. So cyberspace demands everything to go at a faster pace, even the legal framework, the police response, the judicial adjudication, everything. So why the cyberspace has become so much vulnerable? Is it because of information asymmetry? Yes, it is a factor. A common people has very limited knowledge when it comes how to be safe and securely maneuver in the cyberspace. But that is not only the fact. This Al-Qaeda manual says we can cultivate a person almost 70 to 80% of his cyber identity through the means that is actually available in the online openly. We need not indulge anything illegal sorts of thing. And cyber criminals have taken these things to their heart, and they are exploiting that things. And we are very reluctant, we are very actually kind of flashy kind of thing in our social media and other platforms, and they take cue of that and they get our access to our information and they keep on making money. Dark web is a case in point here. Anything is available. And some premier agencies are already having their eyes into that, because from drug trade to human trafficking to your child pornography, whatever is very, very prohibitive in normal area, that has been easily accessible in dark space. So the cyber criminals, they actually coordinate in this dark space, and they keep on exchanging data, keep on exchanging finance through cryptocurrency and all those things. So this is the space we have to look into. Now, collaboration. Tackling cybercrime is not a very easy task, and definitely not can be done alone by any law enforcement agency. It is not that we are saying that, even Interpol has said that we need to have a very collaborative approach, because cyberspace is evolving and new technologies are coming in. So the technical expertise, especially, we have to pull in so that we can effectively answer to that. Warren Buffett, we all follow him, and many of us consider him to a prophetic kind of mind in terms of finance and all those things. He even considers cybercrime is #1 problem now for the mankind. And being a police officer, I hardly disagree with him. And very recently, I think we have come to that news that UK has upgraded fraud to the level of terrorism, and very rightly so. We have to see that. In a small state like Haryana, last year lost 300 crore. We just imagine that 300 crore has been looted physically. That would have been made something very big headline. But silently, the cyber fraudsters are making much more than that. And we are not having that kind of importance being given. But in last few years, I think we have really woke up and we are doing. World Economic Forum, they had a report. That is our most powerful nation in the world, US. And they are estimating the chances of successful prosecution is 0.05%. So we can imagine how tough it is. I4C, I hope most of us know about this body. This is an initiative under the Cyber and Information Security Center of MHA. So this body has been very helpful, though it is launched very recently, but it is doing what actually we are supposed to do. It is giving the platform so that all the stakeholders, not only just police, but also the financial institutes, the tech support teams, the judicial bodies, everybody is coming up, and we are having a discussion, and we are coming out with some concrete solution that can effectively give some breathing space to the common victims. I would just mention one initiative I think there is no one present in this hall who has not got any spoof SMS or any prank call or having some misleading email. And whenever we just lodge any complaint and go, we find that there is a fake SIM. Procuring fake SIM in India is very easy. And for that, an Operation Trishul has been launched under the initiative of I4C. And here now, if letter from LEA to DOT, then DOT will compulsorily ask the telecom service provider to review that, and we have seen that 70 to 80% of numbers are getting blocked because no one turns up to get their fake SIMs reviewed. So this is just one initiative of I4C that is, I think we can all relate to. It is a low-hanging fruit, but being plucked at a very late stage, but better late than never. Even state level also, in Karnataka, CID and their Infosys Foundation, they have collaborated, and 4 years back, they have come up with Center for Cyber Investigation Training Center. So training is a very important part when it comes to cybercrime prevention, because in our officers, that technical skill is limited and they have to be updated and upgraded so they can effectively respond to the new age crime. And we'll expect the NASCOM Kolkata chapter also to come up with state of West Bengal for such an initiative, because it is a 10 crore population, 2011 statistics, it is 23 now, and we are having 3 international borders and all those things. So cyber crime is also a big headache in state of West Bengal. We would need some kind of collaborative effort in our state as well. Trends, I have already said, cyber crime is a very evolving space. This is a present trends. I would not elaborate on this. Futuristic trends, they all look very fanciful, but they are very much feasible in the next couple of years, I would guess. I've just give two definite case studies. One is Aadhaar enabled payment system that has been launched to connect with those population who are not having access to smart phone, but they can digitally still pay having their bank account linked with Aadhaar. And cyber criminals have found loopholes into that as well. They have obtained their fingerprints from those land deeds. Those are available in the land department websites, and they have created physical fingerprints, and using one app called PayWorld, there are similar apps, others as well available, and they have actually swindled money without bypassing the requirement of OTP. So we have already alerted our land department regarding this kind of crime, and UIDI has also taken note of that, and they have also started upgrading their Aadhaar authentication factor. And second one is international call center. I think some of you at least have seen that YouTube video where Indian call center CCTVs have been hacked by some benevolent person, and he actually exposed that. So India, some pockets, including Kolkata, have become notorious for hosting international call center, fake call centers. So what they will do, they will have a data set of senior citizen staying in USA, UK and some advanced countries, and they will give him a ring in the guise of tech support or some other disguise and swindle money from them. And investigation of this crime is really difficult because all victims are abroad. And once they have been cheated, they are not very forthcoming to come and give their statement to Indian police. They have already beaten once, so they are twice shy. And when we go into this type of crimes, we see their global linkages. They have mule accounts providers in foreign soil. They have hawala through crypto means, and they have access to the data sheet of senior citizens, retired personnel, housewives of foreign countries, coming in a very well-documented Excel sheet. So it is a global industry, and unfortunately it is also a footloose industry. It can be set up in anywhere having a good internet connections. So that is really a big challenge. So I hope I have already postponed your lunch by quite a few minutes. So I'll say thank you.